A client asked me, Justin, how do you stay motivated? And the truth is, I don't. Some days I'm exhausted. Like today, I ran a half marathon at the weekend and I'm just running low on energy today. And that's the truth of the matter. But the question stuck with me because I've been running businesses for 20 years. And the reality is, motivation isn't what gets results. People talk about motivation, but it isn't what gets you results. It's something else. And let me explain this secret sauce. Why should you be listening to me about this? Look, I built an accountancy firm from scratch, a co-owned a letting agency. I've written a couple of books. I'm growing this AskJT business, which is business education business. I'm doing YouTubing, blogging. People looking at me are thinking, wow, this guy's got monster amounts of energy. But I'm just like you. I've faced like the tax mills I wasn't expecting, or there's been recessions that have nearly wiped out my business. And at times I've been ready to quit. So when a client asks, how do I stay motivated? Firstly, I've lived it. I know what keeps you moving when motivation runs out. I suppose my story today starts with that client moment. It's this particular client is sort of struggling to pick himself up. His business is fine, but he feels drained by it. He's working evenings and weekends, and he's like, "Oh my God, what do I do, Justin?" And he says to me, "You've got loads of energy. How do you do it?" I told him it's not about energy or motivation. It's about three basic things. The first, it's about goals. The second's about system. And the third's about purpose. And I want to show you exactly how that actually works. I suppose, let's split it into lessons. So lesson one is you need goals with a solution. I've always loved setting kind of big financial goals. And it doesn't matter whether it's in your personal life or your business life, a goal is so important. It's going to keep you focused, it's going to keep you on target. And let me give you an example. It's one of my big financial goals in life was to be completely debt free, mortgage free, everything, financially independent. And every day for 20 years, I started at the start of this 20 years ago, every day for 20 years, got up in the morning with that sole purpose in life. I wanted to be mortgage free. I wanted a heat pump. I wanted solar panels on my roof. I wanted an energy storage battery. I wanted this like feeling of security. But you know what? Every day I got up and I had a goal in which I was working towards. I knew exactly what I had to do. I just had to inch forward every single day to achieve that goal. And then, do you know what? I did it. I paid off my mortgage. And I've been working towards this thing for like 20 years. And only recently, in the last couple of months, have I actually achieved it. And it's an amazing sense of kind of achievement to have worked towards a goal for such a long period of time. But just imagine for a moment that you stop and you think, actually, what do I want to set out to do? What goal do I want? Because I tell you what, when motivation runs dry in the morning, if you can look at that goal and go, actually, do you know what? I know what I need to do today. I just need to take one or two steps towards my goal. And then you will find something magic is happening. For my client, I suppose it's different. He wanted more time with his family. So, he worked out how to trim work out of his week. How can I find 2 hours a day back? What admin tasks can I delegate to somebody else? One of the goals that I set in the past over 10 years ago is I decided to move to a 4-day working week. And I think I've done that for 12 years now as doing a 4-day working week. I tell you what, it kept me so focused because I wanted time with my children. That's a separate goal. It's something else. But I tell you what, just go out, think about what you want as a goal and what you want to achieve from life and write it down. And just every day, just think about that. First thing you think about when you get out of bed in the morning, how we're going to do it. So lesson 2 here is about systems. And for me, motivation is unreliable, right? And that's why I build systems. Every single Tuesday, I record something for a podcast or YouTube. I write blogs because it's in a system. I've committed to myself to do that. And I just have to get up every single day and do it. And it's the same in other things that I do is I invest into my ISA every single week. It's on a standing order. It just goes into the account and it just happens by magic. But ultimately, I've set up a system. I don't need to think about it. It's on a standing order and it's just going to happen. If we go back to today, I started this video and I said, I'm lacking energy. I'm low on motivation today. Yeah, I'm here recording a video for you. And that's because I built up systems of control around me. I've actually written a checklist. So anytime I produce content, I open up my checklist and I work through it systematically, bit by bit by bit by bit. Justin, you have to write your script. Justin, you have to do this. Justin, you have to open up Riverside. Justin, I don't have to think about it anymore. And if we use today's example of what I've done in my day job, is I've managed to turn out 4 tax returns for clients. These aren't easy tax returns to do. But when we've onboarded them as a client, they've filled in an onboarding checklist. So I've built up this really amazing mental picture of the client. So I can look at the checklist. I've already done that work ages ago because I filled out the checklist. I built up this mental picture. I'm like, yes, I remember this client. I can do that. And then I go onto my work system and I've got another series of checklists guiding me through the job. Justin, do you have a good understanding of the client? Have you collected all of these documents? Do you need to ask the client any questions? Have you filled in this schedule? Have you considered pension tapering? I've just built systems. And I think that's a really, really important thing is if you build systems of control around you, then there are a couple of magic things that are going to happen. Is one, when motivation is low and energy is low, is that you can just follow one of those kind of sets of breadcrumbs that you've left for yourself. And if you're thinking about bringing members of staff to come and help and work with you, then it's actually really important because you've already pre-established those procedures so you can delegate. So if you want to move to a 4-day working week, great. You want to spend more time with your kids, you can employ a PA. You can do any of these things because you've already built systems around you. My third lesson is about purpose. You've got to remember why you're actually getting up in the morning and doing. What is your purpose? And when you remember this, you'll feel enthused to get out of bed and you'll take a step forward. For me, why do I turn up every single week and record a video? Why am I doing it when I'm feeling unmotivated? It's because I've committed to it. It's my purpose. Is I want to share things with small business owners. I want to help them be better at what they do. I want them to be able to find answers to questions. I want to do something. I want to share some knowledge. I want you to watch this video today and feel like Justin cares. And that's my purpose. And every day I get up and I do it. And I love my work. I do. I love my work. When I'm working in my accountancy practice, there's nothing better. I mean, God, doing accountancy work, a lot of people are like, that's so boring. But the relationship you have with your client is just wonderful. You have this incredibly close relationship with your client. You see the best and worst in people's lives. And, just last week I had someone rang me, a long-standing client, his daughter called me and said, your client died. And that's, I felt really upset and emotional about it. But actually there's something incredibly special in that from purpose is because I'm doing something that I care about. And you've got to do something about that you care about. You've got to think about what's worthwhile, what's important, and get up every day and do that. For my client, his purpose is he wants to do a job that gives him time with his family. It gives his time with his kids. He wants his kids to, when they're older, look back at what he's done and think, he was doing a great job. He was moving with purpose. He created something. And I think that's important is, ultimately that what I'm saying here is no motivational quote that you're going to find on Instagram. And it's the reality of the matter. Why do we get out of bed in the morning? Well, we've got to go to work because we need money, don't we? But beyond that, I think we can start really thinking about other things in our lives about actually, I want to make a difference. I want to have a really true purpose to my existence. Here's the truth. I don't stay motivated. I stay disciplined. I'm using systems. I never forget my purpose. And if you're struggling, don't wait for motivation. Write down your real goal. Build one small system. You don't have to solve everything in one go, just to keep you moving and remind yourself every single day, why are you doing this? If that's helped you today, please subscribe to my channel. I work hard every single week. I know what my purpose is to help you and with practical ways to move forward and keep your business going from strength to strength. Thanks. Bye.